Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia. Welcome to our live video. Welcome to Monday. This is Monday, November 2nd, and it's our first live video of November. So here's what goes on here. We're going to spend about the next half hour talking about these two vehicles. We're going to go fully in depth, but if you just want sort of the brief overview of what's going on, tune in at the beginning part of this video. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about hybrid vehicles and plug-in hybrid vehicles, PHEVs. We're going to talk about which one's best for you, why one's better than the other in different situations, and we're going to clear up a lot of myths because I read a lot of myths about PHEVs and hybrids, and we're going to help you walk through that. So if you have questions, maybe you know nothing about these vehicles, feel free to ask in the comments section. And if you want to know more, that's what this is for. So real quick, we do these videos live every day, and what we do is we let our live audience build until about the 3-minute mark. So if you're watching with us and you just want to get right to the content, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark. In the meantime, if you want to know how to join us, let me show you how to do that right now. So every weekday at 2 o'clock, now I guess if we have viewers from all around the world, and that's relevant right now because we just had a time change, and I had someone on my Instagram ask me, wait a minute, what time are you coming on? Because it was a time change. Well, we did have a time change, so 2 o'clock Eastern time, which is, I don't know if it's daylight savings time or not, whichever one we switched from just now. Let me just jump over here. All right, here's how you join us live. Go to our YouTube page, search for Brantford, or go to YouTube, search for Brantford Kia. So we look like that. You can see me there. We're going to update this soon. It really does need an update. Anyways, if you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock, what you'll see is sometimes, and very often lately, you see the live video right there on the home page. If you don't see this little red Live Now tab, then just go to the Videos tab right here. It'll be the very first video with the Live Now tab. So it's very rare we don't do a video live at 2 o'clock, so you should be able to see it every time. And if you can't, just go search for it. The other thing to do is you can watch my Instagram. What are we watching? Oh, Stocky Chrysler is doing an ad on YouTube. Good for them. Okay, skip the ad. Okay, so we are going to jump into there. Okay, here we go. My regulars are reminding me to get the keys. I do not have the keys. They're right there, so remind me again in a minute what we're going to do. Okay, so here we go. Quick news. We got another 45 seconds to kill. News, we have the Kia K5 in the GT line in the new wolf gray color. I'm going to pick it up this afternoon with Tim. So the two of us are going to go down to compound and get it. I'll have driven it this afternoon. And tomorrow it will be in here on the live video. At this point, the comparison we're going to do is the GT line versus the EX-K5. I don't see a reason why we can't do that, but if we do, we'll talk about that. Anyways, so there's that. And I already see a question there on YouTube, which I think is a myth that I am going to bust. So we'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, that's the only real news I have. We're getting a bunch of Tellurides in, SXL models. They are all sold ones. We did a video on that the other day. We did an all-wheel drive video the other day that I'm actually pretty proud of. I think it's a good, really in-depth video. That's kind of what we do here is we do the really in-depth videos. So feel free to watch that one if you want to know more about all-wheel drive systems. All right, 3 minutes in. We're a little late to get on the 3-minute thing. So here we go. Oh, lovely. Go to watch a Kia video and get a Dodge ad. You bet we do. Okay, so what we're doing today is we've got two nearly identical vehicles. Now, they look identical in the wheels and that kind of thing. That one in the black is the PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. This one in front is a regular hybrid. Now, there is a little bit of an imperfection in this video. If we wanted to do everything perfectly, what we should do is this is an EX model. It should be an EX Premium to be a more direct comparison. So things like a sunroof on this one, you could get if you had the EX Premium. That one is an EX Premium lane keep. So there are a few options that one has that you can get on this car to make it a more direct comparison. And I just don't have that car here today, but we did decide to do this like this. So that's what we're looking at. Real quick, let's show you what we're looking at as far as pricing and features before we jump in. So in front of me is the blue one right here. That one right there is the regular Nero, and it is an EX model. So the L model is a pretty base model. You step up to the EX model, which is kind of a starting of the volume leaders, and then you could go to the EX Premium and move on from there. The EX model is the one we're looking at, MSRP of $29,245. Now keep in mind, $31,795 would be the equivalent vehicle to our PHEV that we're showing you. So this is the one I have, the EX. Real quick, PHEV, we're looking at $35,995 for our EX Premium. Now, in the PHEVs, you have an EX Premium or an SX Touring. You can see in the regular Nero, we have a lot more options. Up to EX Premium, there's SX Touring as well beyond that. So you have a few more models. Only these top two levels could be made into a PHEV. So we're not quite comparing apples to apples, but we are not that far off. So here we go. You've got EX there. So just keep in mind price difference. 31,795 would be an equal car to this one, 35,995. Now in Ontario right now, there is still a $2,500 government rebate, which you can talk to about our sales team. They'll give you the proper details because I'm sure there's an asterisk I'm supposed to put up there. But that brings this car much closer in price to the equivalent Nero hybrid. So we're going to talk about that. Somebody said something about if it doesn't have a remote start, then I'm going with hybrid or something like that. Or if you can't pre-warm it up, you're going with hybrid. So yeah, let's talk about that in a second. Like I said, there are a lot of myths, and what is a little interesting for me is people. It's almost like politics with these cars. People are really locked into their views, and they're unwilling to consider that they might be incorrect. So hopefully we don't run into that too much here. I'm just going to present it as I know it, as it facts are. If I make a mistake, let me know, and sometimes I do. But here we go. This is a hybrid car. First of all, let's start real basic. What is a hybrid car? Has a battery. This one happens to be underneath the rear seats. Has an electric motor and a gasoline engine. It can use either to power the car, and it can run purely on electricity. But the computer decides when it runs purely on electricity. So that's you never have to plug it in. You cannot plug it in, and it gets efficiency because there are a lot of times during acceleration, during other times, even during coasting or other times, where the electric motor can add efficiency. So if you're just coasting, it can recharge that battery. If you're braking, it can recharge that battery, and then it can give you back that power. And if the engine's running, it can charge that battery, and it gives you back that power when your gasoline engine is least efficient. Things like acceleration, things like extra fuel needed. It can give you a little extra electricity instead. So what you end up with is a car that drives pretty much like a gasoline car. You put it in gear and go, you never plug it in, and it gets you as much as half the fuel use of a competitive crossover. So it's a super practical thing, and cars are moving to hybrids. Doesn't matter what it is. Regular cars that you used to see as a regular car, we will be selling them as hybrids. We know that the future Sorento is going to be available as a hybrid. It's likely to be a PHEV as well, not quite in Canada when it launches, but that's down the road. It's coming. A lot of our cars are going to be moving to hybrid and PHEV, and not just Kia. Across the industry, they're doing that because it just makes sense. It's great for the environment, better for the environment anyways, as far as tailpipe emissions, and it saves you on fuel use. So that's a big thing. Anywhere that comes to Sedona will be hybrid or PHEV. We'll get to that after. I don't have any word on that, but we'll go off. Usually what we do is we go off topic at the 30-minute mark. I know that's not fully off topic, but we will address some of those things. So a hybrid car, very simple to use. Now, only thing that's a little bit weird is sometimes you hit the start button and it does not start a gasoline engine. Totally normal, and that's because it's capable of running at slow speeds or in certain environments on pure electric power. A plug-in hybrid is a little different. It looks almost identical. So this one here has a little separate gas door. First of all, the gas door on both these cars is right there. I don't know if you can see the round one there. Hey, there's Garth. Garth can sell you the car too. And then this one right here is the electric door. So that's where you would charge this car. So that's what that looks like. Now this car, full disclosure, I didn't have time to clean it before our video, so it is dirtier than we like it to be. So let's talk about this car real quickly. Same thing exactly as what I just described as a hybrid. It can run on gasoline or electric power. It does not need to be charged in to do that. And it gets great efficiency because it can blend that electric and gas engine. What you add in this one is a bigger battery, more powerful motor, and the ability to plug it into the wall, which is going to be right into there using this charger over here in a minute. We're just literally mounting that charger today, so we should have that up today or tomorrow. That's why there's a mess in here. But anyways, come on, camera, come back around. So you can plug this black car in, and what that does is it gives you about 40 kilometers of pure electric range. So pure electric range means that the gasoline engine does not have to jump in. This car can drive highway speeds. It can drive those 40 kilometers or so, give or take 40 kilometers, on pure electricity. And what that does is, for anybody running around town or doing short trips, your entire trip can be on electricity. Now, here's where I want to battle with some people on it. Some people say, oh, well, my commute is way more than 40 kilometers, so that car's no good to me. I'm going to say you're 100% wrong. First of all, the first 40 or last 40 or whatever 40 kilometers or so that you want to be electricity, you can have. So if we compare these two cars, the biggest benefit is At any point, if that car is charged, you can put 40 kilometers of electricity use instead of a gas electricity mix. You're going to get way better mileage in that car because let's say you drive 50 kilometers, 40 of them can be electric. Let's say you drive 700 kilometers, 40 of them can be pure electric. It's going to save you fuel. And then I'm going to argue that that is a better hybrid than this. It has a bigger battery, more powerful motor. It feels a little bit more like electric vehicle to drive, even in the gas motor. And therefore, I am confident you're going to eke out better hybrid mileage in that car than in this car. Both are going to be fantastic. So, why would you buy one over the other? Well, the long story short is hybrids have been a long time. They've been very reliable, and this is kind of the basic way to go. This is a less expensive way to go. Those cars have been very expensive, but they're coming down in price, and with a government discount, it really brings it closer in price, especially when you compare apples to apples trim lines. So, big thing I want you to remember with the PHEV before we move too far. It doesn't matter if you do over 40 kilometers. It doesn't. You don't have to drive only in town to see a savings. You gain 40 kilometers of electric range by moving to a PHEV, 40 or so, give or take. And that makes this car a much more efficient car than the other car. So let's just take a quick peek again, and we'll go through the basics. Somebody said to me in the earlier comments something to the effect, if this car can't be electrically preheated and that kind of thing, then the hybrid's a better car. And the reality is the Nero does not come with a factory remote start because they are eco cars. If you buy a full electric vehicle, you can electric remote start the vehicle, and you're not running a gasoline engine, so you can even do it in a closed garage, and you can heat the vehicles. Now, these vehicles still use the gasoline engine to create the heat. So if you're used to your gasoline car, very similar system here. There is a little bit of efficiency built into these cars where you don't have to always run the gasoline engine to get heat, but you can, generally speaking, in the winter, you're going to be using some gasoline engine just purely for that. So we're going to take a look at these cars. We're going to talk about what's good about them, what's different about them. And I definitely want to take your questions. But before we do that, 20 people are watching right now. 12 people have said, hey, let's give this guy a like. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Somebody says, wait, no remote start availability from the dealership. What about Kia Yuvo? Can it remote start that way? To be honest, I have not used Kia Remote Start Yuvo on these cars, and I'm not sure if you can. I have to double check that. That's one thing that I knew was going to be asked. We don't hook up Yuvo at the dealership here. It's a customer only thing. None of us happen to own a Nero right now. So I have to double check that, but I would say maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works on our hybrids or other ones. This particular Nero does not have Yuvo Intelligence, and for 2020, only the higher trim levels do. So I just double checking to make sure. So we'll have to double check with the regular Nero because Yuvo on these are new, and actually none of our information actually tells us that. Loan me a Nero and you'll test it for me. Wait, yeah, we'd love to. The problem is, like I said, the regular Nero we have not had with the 2020 models. As many of you know, Neros have been hard to get up until recently. So 2020 Neros is the first ones available with Yuvo Intelligence, have not come to us until very recently, and this particular one does not have Yuvo Intelligence. So that is something I will test when we have one, and that is just something I forgot to look up before we did this video. All right, so let's take a peek at how this works here. I want to start with a PHEV. So when you get home, what you're going to do is you're going to plug in the car. Now, you never have to plug in the car. If you want to drive from here to British Columbia today, you just go, you get gasoline, and you can drive across the country. The reason I say I think this is a better hybrid is I've driven this with absolutely zero range, which is where it's at right now, actually. And I've still been on the highway coasting at 80 kilometers an hour or even up to 100 kilometers an hour and still been on the EV in that. Whereas this one will not do that at 100 kilometers an hour for sure. So when you get home in a PHEV, you're simply going to grab the nozzle from your plug. You're going to plug it right in here. And I want to show you what you do. Oh, remember you guys have to remember to get keys? That's right about now. A couple of our regulars are joining us now, saying hello. Hello to them as well. All right, real quick, let me just show you the keys and I'll put them in my pockets. Updated key. If you've been watching my videos for a while, used to have the buttons over here. Now you have them over here. It's better this way. I don't know which key is which, so I'm going to throw them both in my pocket. And we're going to jump in here. So that's your little electric door. Can it be plugged into via regular 110 level 1 or 220? Okay, good question. Sorry, I missed the exact wording on that question there. Let me just throw it back up. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I parked my computer a long ways away because they're doing some work here. I'm just going to make it up here. So you asked, can be plugged in via regular level 1 charger or does it need a level 2 charger? Comes with a level 1 charger. So for most people buying a PHEV, I do not recommend spending money on the charger like I just showed you. You can plug it into a regular wall charger. However, if you go to IKEA, if you go to the mall, if you go other places, and there are charging stations, you can park there, you can charge there with a level 2 charger as well. You can buy a level 2 charger for your home for these vehicles, but for most people's use, there isn't really a necessity. You can get enough charge for the amount of time your car spends parked, and it's not usually worth it to spend the money. Although if you have one, you can use it. Okay, let me jump in here for a quick second. So remember that electric charger, you come home, you plug in the electric charger, and you're going to see what happens over here. So this is a little complicated. First of all, this is our new dash in the Nero. It looks fantastic. It is on the EX Premium here. It's not on the other EX that we'll show you in a minute. I did not turn the car on just because I know the engine will start and I am indoors. So what I want to show you is this gauge to the left. So see this one right there, the high and low. See how it's kind of that blue color? I'm not great with my color, so blue something else. Check regenerative brakes, no problem. See, it's mad at me because we're in gear. Oh, there we go. Oh, you know what? It's very mad at me because the battery's low while I'm running the car. This is going well. This car's been sitting for a while, and I should have charged it. Key not detected. It's doing funny things for me right now. Oh, brake pad's coming back. There we go. All right, we're going to have to check that in a second. Anyways, see right over here, that blue area is the battery that you can have by plugging the car in. So if we plug the car in, that blue area will fill up. And this is not going to work well because this car needs to be charged. The regular car battery needs to be charged on this car, which is kind of interesting. Oh, this is going to go really well. Anyways, the idea, let me just pop out of here and we'll show you that in a second. It's not very happy with me right now because the car battery, this is a car we've been sitting on the lot and it sat in compound for a bit too. So that car battery, that blue area of that charge, what you can do with when you plug the car in, that blue area will be full. That 1/3 area below is the battery on the, this car is still doing some blinking here. It's mad at me. Anyways, the white area is the hybrid battery that stays charged either way. So when you run out of electric range in this car, you still have electric range of sorts. It's just at that point, it's going to mix gasoline and electric. So that's one thing people forget. Some people think on a PHEV, when you run out of that electric range, that you only have the ability to run on a gasoline engine. That's not true. You always will have hybrid range. So one of our salespeople was talking about that. If you're driving from here for an hour or so and you had no electric range whatsoever, as soon as you get off the highway, you may find the car running purely in electric for parts. Speaking of charge fail, yeah, okay. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, so you still have electric range on this, but it'll mix the gas and electric. So that's 40 kilometers of pure electric, and then it mixes, whereas this one is always mixing. So obviously I pulled a bad car in here today. What happens is this one has a car battery. So let's just talk about, we talked about the fail. This is live video. Let's talk about what's going on. So this car has a car battery, just like your gasoline car does. And we're going to do a Teddy test in a second. In the back here is your regular. Let's just open it right up. There's your regular car battery, the 12-volt battery. Now this battery right here is a little weak. A couple things are going on right now. When we get cars from compound and they come into us, they've often been sitting on a boat for a while, sometimes in a compound, on a train for a while. Sometimes these batteries are a little bit weak. This car was delivered on a truck to us. We didn't drive it here, so that battery is weak, and it recently dropped to freezing temperatures, which also affects the life of a low battery. So right now I'm having a low battery issue right there. I wouldn't say it's common, but it's not uncommon to happen in a car like this. This has nothing to do with the hybrid system at all. It's just this one has a car battery. Now what's interesting is our regular Nero does not have that battery, and therefore it has a bigger trunk. So you can see here, there's no battery here. There's no 12-volt battery at all in this Nero. It's technically there is, but it's not a traditional car battery. It all ties into the hybrid battery, which is underneath the rear seat. So we're going to do a teddy bear test in a second. But what I want to say, this is really throwing me off because I'm going to have trouble showing you the interior of this vehicle, the dash, which is one of the best parts. Have you found compound yet? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you guys, your comments are making me giggle here. Anyway, so what we've got is oh man, I totally lost my train of thought. Let's just start real fresh again. This is what happens. First of all, you know what? We're 20 minutes in. Let's take your questions first, and then we'll go, just in case there's something I'm missing, because what I was going to show you now is not going to work. All right, here we go. Is there any questions here? You guys are looking for compound. I can pretty much tell you where it is. It's on Google Maps. It's not hard to find. Update just for the new remote. Yeah, the new remote's good. We asked about the charger. We can plug it in on a regular plug or regular thing. Okay, bought an Euro from Quebec. EX Premium. You said the radio screen is being 8 inches. From what I see, it is 7 inches. Is that same for you? That could be different. I believe ours is 8 inches on this one. I think it might be 7 inches over here. Yes, I believe this is the 7-inch screen on the regular Nero, 8-inch screen on the PHEV. Now, keep in mind that PHEV is a higher trim level, EX Premium. Oh, maybe it is 7 inches. You know what? Yep. You know what? That looks like a 7-inch screen to me. So I was wrong there on that one. All right, so I'm going to start kind of fresh here. I got really thrown off because what I wanted to show you, I just can't do it anymore because we've got an issue with that car. Gotta love live video. Give me a like if you're trying, just for the video here. All right, so real quick, I've said that 100 times now. The range on this car is the one thing that people, I think, argue with me the most. This video is totally flopping for me because I'm trying to show what I wanted to lead into is showing you. Let's just start over here and I'll show you some things you can do without the electric. So imagine that the dash does work on this car. One thing I want to point out is people like to talk about the hybrid range and the electric vehicle range. So on this car, one of the big benefits of the EV range is you can select when you want to have that range. So if I'm driving primarily on the highway, I'm going to get pretty good fuel efficiency. But if I'm driving around stop and go traffic, that's when having no engine running at all would be the most useful. So if I'm driving from here to a busy city, I can keep my EV range until I get to that stop and go type traffic by hitting this button. HEV puts it in hybrid mode, EV locks it in EV mode. I was going to show you this dash, and I think I'm going to just try again, see what happens here. No, it's not happy with me. All right. Yep, it's not happy with me today, guys. All right, so one thing you can do, both these cars have a 6-speed automatic transmission. You can get a little bit more power by putting them in drive, and I can't do that in this car. Let's just go to the other car right now. I apologize for this video, guys. This is not what I was expecting it to be, so we're probably going to wrap it up early and probably do a part 2 tomorrow. Tell us what you would do if this happened on the road, or would it? Yeah, so that's a good question. It won't happen on the road because the car would be traveling with, the battery would be charging. So this car has almost no kilometers on it. And the 12-volt battery charges as you drive, same as your car. So when the battery starts to go low, you're going to get a warning light, hey, the 12-volt battery's not charging. You're going to call your service department, and you're going to get it fixed. If you were completely stuck, great option. What you would do is you would go on you would call the roadside assistance button. In this case, it has UVO Intelligence roadside assistance, and you can do that, and that would call, and it would be good. It's not a huge problem with this car. Like I said, it's literally a 12-volt battery that needs some charging, but oh, that was frustrating. All right, real quick in this car, I want to show you the 6-speed. We're going to show you the dash here. What I was going to show you in the other car is an improved dash. You can see a lot bigger screen here. We've got a new sort of charge display over here. That's one of the reasons to get a PHEV. And I think, to be clear, we're going to keep this video a little shorter. We're going to redo this video maybe later this week or later and do it properly. In this screen here, you can see I've got both trunks open here. This trunk is just warning me that it's open. What I wanted to show you here on the dash, or on the transmission here, was if I throw this car in drive, I can tap it to the left and it throws the car into a sport mode. The sport mode is how you activate more power on this car. The one complaint with the Nero is that it is always a eco mode. It is an efficient mode. It is not a real peppy car intentionally when it's in the regular mode. That's why they have that sport mode. There's no drive button in this car, but you put it over here and you have a sport mode like that. I appreciate you guys are sticking with me here. Only the regulars are ever going to watch this. Anyways, so you don't have a sport mode, but you will want more power here. Now, in that car, you do have a little more electric torque, and you feel a little bit more like an electric vehicle than in the hybrid mode. It's another reason to move to a PHEV, a little bit more power, a little bit more perceived power as well. Typical things in all of our Kias, cameras, just while it's on, I'll show you. Oh, that's looking at the ceiling, of course, because the trunk's open. The other thing to show you here is the climate system on every hybrid we sell, every PHEV we sell, is an automatic climate system. The reason for that is your climate system works with your hybrid system, and what it does is it allows you to use the car to most efficient way. Now, one thing you're going to find that's interesting is these cars have, all of the ones I'm showing you, have 3 levels of seat heating in the front and a heated steering wheel. What you can do with your climate system, and I'll just show you over here on this car. The climate system is currently off. If I hit it to auto, you're going to see this is a dual zone system. I can set it to anything I want. Each side I can do where I want. What you will find is if you are in, let's say, 23.5 degrees, maybe in temperatures like today where it's like 2-3 degrees outside Celsius, you will find that the engine will turn on. What you can do sometimes is turn the heat use down so you can sync them together, maybe bring it to like 20 degrees or 19 or something like that. And what that will allow is that although the car will get a little cooler, if you use your heated seats and heated steering wheel to stay warmer, that will work fairly well to bring the car to temperature. All right, guys, I'm 26 minutes in. I can't do what I want to do. Neither have push start. Actually, they both have push start. I should point that out. I apologize for our technical error here. I'm not really sure what to do with this. I'm going to leave it online just because we'll leave it online. But I think I have to label it. We had a technical error in this video. So great time to ask me questions. We'll go off topic early if you have to. We'll talk about the future of PHEVs. You guys mentioned the Sedona. Any question you have, I'll take. I apologize for the car being malfunctioning. I had no indication that would happen because some of these cars don't run through the shop before I throw them here. Steering wheel in the EV gets really warm for your hands. I'm assuming the hybrid and PHEV get just as warm. Yeah, so a few of our cars, actually the Rio seems to get the hottest. A lot of our cars, the heated steering wheel works very, very well, and you end up turning it on and turning it off. I would say a lot of our cars are similar. Certainly all the Neros, I think, are identical in the steering wheel heating. That is something you can use to save fuel. Ask Tim to get a Nero next Nero. Yeah, we'll get somebody pulling in here. Sedona is going hybrid. So somebody asked me about the Sedona going hybrid in the past, and that was really started by me, that rumor. We know that the Sorento is available in the U.S. as a hybrid. We haven't been confirmed officially, but I'm going to tell you that I don't see any reason why a hybrid Sorento wouldn't come to Canada, but they're going to wait for an all-wheel drive hybrid Sorento to come here. And then, of course, PHEV, if the sales work out, we'll bring anything that sells here, I'm sure. So we know that the Sorento will be a hybrid and PHEV, at least in world markets. Nothing confirmed for Canada yet. The Sedona has always shared a powertrain with the Sorento. So it'll be interesting to see. The 2021 Sedona is going to come out 2022 Sedona is going to come out in the early part of 2021, mid-spring maybe a little earlier. So it's possible that the Sedona could be PHEV or EV. Kia is working on all kinds of them, and I expect to see that soon. So I don't know if the Sedona will, but I would say I would not rule it out. They're certainly looking to hybridize a lot of our cars and PHEV a lot of our cars, which is why I really want to do this video well. There we go. Sedona Carnival has a hybrid version. So that's unconfirmed from my friend Unknown, who's a regular here. He is from Korea. So that, I believe the Sedona is launched in the Korean market. Yeah, it's in South Korea for now. So there we go. Guys, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. Do me a favor, hit the like button. I did my best. I couldn't do what I wanted to do, so we're going to have to figure out how we title this video and move on. Sometimes mistakes happen. That's fun. That's what happens when you go live every single day. Tomorrow we will do better. Tomorrow we're looking at the K5 and the K5 GT line, so the EX versus the GT line. And that will be more fun because I will have driven both those cars enough to make sure they're charged. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. We're having a typical case. It's 2020. This is what happens. It's a Monday. And yeah, I apologize for that video. I think we will do this again. I want to do a proper PHEV and EV video. So my dream car is a PHEV version of the Telluride. It doesn't exist yet, but when it does, I'll be first in line. So the Telluride, when it first came out, it was rumored to be 400 horsepower so the show vehicle was supposed to be 400 horsepower electric gasoline hybrid. It was going to be essentially that. So I kind of wonder if the Telluride hadn't sold as well as it did, would we be talking about a PHEV Telluride soon? Right now, they can barely keep up with production as is, so they're not likely to add a new version in. Anyways, tomorrow is my Kia anniversary. Yes, if anybody from my head office, or if anybody from Brantford Kia is still watching, tomorrow I'll have been here 5 years. So we're gonna hit 6 million views, probably November, December this year, more likely December. We've had some fun. We've gone on a good ride. So tomorrow we'll talk about that. In the meantime, I'm giving up on this video. We're gonna see you tomorrow. I appreciate your views. Tomorrow will be better. I promise. Thanks everybody for watching. We will see you then.